All right, folks, we told you anytime the Trump administration lies, we're going to play this. Well, guess what, folks? The Washington Post has a story out this morning that says Michael Flynn, Trump's national security advisor, talked to Russia before the inauguration, saying, don't worry about those sanctions from the Obama folks. We'll take care of that. They have 9 different sources on where they talked to who said that Flynn did this. Folks, Flynn did this. He could very well be in violation of federal law. The question now is, will Republicans actually hold any hearings to investigate? Flynn said nothing ever happened. Vice President Mike Pence came out and said nothing ever happened. But according to federal investigators, there absolutely was a conversation. The Russian ambassador has even said there were phone calls and text messages. Now Flynn is saying, well, he's not quite sure of the content of their conversation. Really? Pastor Wright, I want to go to you first. I'm sorry. I'm not understanding what's going on here. A private citizen cannot be communicating with foreign entities. He did this before the inauguration. This is in violation of federal law. Is it time for House Republicans and Senate Republicans to stop playing around and fully investigate the ties of the Trump administration and Russian officials?
Okay, so here's the thing. I love the way you just come to me with this one first, but that's okay. When you look at every administration...
Are you not a member of the American Republican Party?
I am, and at times that is a little difficult.
So
I must.
Guess what? Pastor Wright, you're going to suck that up for the next 4 years because Trump is in your party. Your party controls the House. Your party controls the Senate. And so if you come on this show as a Republican, you're probably going to get the first stab at it being a Republican.
I hear you. It is what it is.
And I can't defend you. I tried, but I won't. I can't do it
it's all
as a good Democrat.
So here's the thing. In every administration, there are things that happen that shouldn't. There are folks that break laws and they shouldn't. Now, the thing is, in my line of work, in ministry, which is my first line of work, everyone should be held accountable by the same standards. So for me, I don't care which party you belong to. If you did wrong and it is clear that you did wrong, then you should be held accountable. Period. That should be a part of it.
But here's the deal. We have Republicans who don't want to investigate these Russian ties, who want to keep making excuses. There's no doubt in my mind, Scott, that if Hillary Clinton was president of the United States and you had these sort of relationships with Russia, oh my goodness, we saw with Benghazi, we would probably have right now 15 congressional hearings on both sides of the aisle investigating her. And this is, again, this Post story, 9 different sources saying Flynn, and they said they have evidence of him communicating with the Russian ambassador to the United States saying, don't overplay this. We'll take care of you guys when it comes to these sanctions.
Yeah, it's just highly inappropriate. And it borders on the nonsensical that the Trump's response is simply that it didn't happen or we didn't talk about sanctions, and now you have the Washington Post article. So what's more interesting, though, Roland, is this. These conversations were recorded by the National Security Agency and others who would vet and monitor these calls going out. Flynn had to know that they were eavesdropping, which is why in the face of the Trump administration's denial, you have sources saying, we have this transcript. They did talk about sanctions. And so it's really amateurish, actually, in regard to how the Trump administration is treating this, instead of coming out and saying he made a mistake. Now, he may have violated federal law, but as we get into the first 100 days, the first 25 days, you can see where this administration is potentially violating several laws because they simply don't believe that they have to follow the laws because of this political mandate. That's got to stop, and we'll keep monitoring it. But at some point, the Republicans are going to have to investigate because they can't ignore it, and we've got to make it so they can not ignore it any longer.
Sharif, here you have, again, a president who refuses to say anything negative about Vladimir Putin, who had ties to Russia, who keeps lying to the American people. He tweeted out again this week, oh, he had no business dealings in Russia, when his own son talked about all of the money coming through the Trump organization from Russia. This administration continues to lie and lie again about their Russian connections. When will Republicans in Congress have the guts to actually lead a full-scale investigation?
Well, see, they have the guts to lead without having to follow the laws. That's really the issue. And that's the difference between Republicans and Democrats. When Republicans are in power, what they realize is might makes right. When Democrats are in power, what they do is they try to engage in a respectability politics. And that's why we have what we have today.
Kickstart your day at 7 and get the news you need from the perspective you want. NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.